you are the one who introduced me to this. I had no idea about it. The fragrance and additive colors in,
Yes.
say, shampoos to make him more attractive or kid friendly or
Correct.
more buyable. Like, what is that really harming the quality of these products?
So, truth be told, when it comes to hair care, not so much, because the contact time for a shampoo on your scalp is 2 to 3 minutes.
Right.
5 minutes for a medicated one. So, you're not causing too much damage by adding fragrance. In fact, a lot of people in the cosmetic industry, this is called a bloom. When you shampoo with something and you leave the washroom and you re-enter, you will have this fragrance in the washroom.
Okay.
And your hair will keep smelling of that the whole day.
Yeah.
So that's called a bloom.
I quite enjoy that smell. Yeah.
Everybody does. So you like it. When you go under a fan, you'll suddenly have that lovely fragrance of what you what you put on your head in the morning. But when it comes to skincare, which is going to stay on your skin for a longer time,
Yeah.
I'm not a very big fan of color or fragrance because these are all additives. And these additives, while they add to the cosmetic look of a product, they don't suit everybody's skin. So, for example, if somebody has sensitive skin, you're anyways more likely to react. So, recall to the inflammation bit that we spoke about.
Right.
Your skin's inflamed. I'm adding something to the mix which is not needed in the product. It doesn't add any value to my product except for the emotive part of it, right? Like emotionally, you go to a product and see, okay, this is blue in color, I love it, I'll pick it up. But it adds nothing to the product as such.
Right.
So I'm not a big fan of color or fragrance added to products, especially because, like you said, my grandfather, for example, used to bathe with a very famous Unilever soap, which is red in color. You know the name, Ends with Boy.
Yeah.
And you tell me, you get these lovely products at home, but I used to have a bath with a 40 rupee soap.
Yeah.
Because he could afford to. They had better lifestyle, better diet. Even the food that we have nowadays is not as organic as we think it is, right?
Right, yeah. Everything has in hormones or
Precisely.
something added, preservatives added to it.
And even if I look at decade-wise since I've been practicing, every passing 5-6 years, we see more sensitivity coming in at younger age groups.
Okay.
So this is the time where we should move towards clean skincare and skincare which is transparent.
Yeah.
I want all my ingredients to be mentioned on the label in percentages.
Yeah.
And that's when I
Like The Ordinary does. That, yeah, I quite like that because it's like no bullshit, right?
Correct.
It has
many other brands do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not taking any brand names, but
no
and
brand
this is a
names.
non-sponsored podcast.
Yeah, non-sponsored podcast. Guys.
But yes, you're right. They're one of the few ones to change the game with percentages. Otherwise, so prescription medications like the ones I've given you, they always have percentages. Go home and look at what I've given you. You'll find percentages and the order in which the ingredients are. So the ingredient in the most concentration always comes at the top, and then you have in descending order the other ingredients.
Yeah. Okay.
So, for example, if I've given you 1% salicylic acid serum, that will come somewhere in the second or the third last line.
Okay. Cool. I'll actually check that out.
So these are a few innovations which happen and they change the game and they change the face of how skincare is. So definitely, I think transparency is key, cleanliness is key, and not adding gob to a product which is not needed.
Yeah.
Like no emotive ingredients. I want only functional ingredients in my products.
Okay. You mentioned sensitive skin. How many 1 out of 10 people have sensitive skin? What do you think the statistic is?
More. I would say roughly between 4 to 5 people even. If you look at statistics, sensitive skin is around 33-34% of the population.
Wow.
1/3 roughly.
And do you recommend that they see a dermatologist?
I do, or they can use clean skincare, non-fragrant, non-odor, and even when you're using actives in people with sensitive skin. So sensitive skin means the barrier is disrupted, like I told you.
Yeah.
Right? They're not able to hold in water, not able to protect themselves from the sun, regular stresses of life. So I would want good layers on the skin. I would want something which creates a nice, lends back hydration to the skin, repairs the barrier, and something which doesn't let foreign bodies penetrate and water leave.
Got it.
So it's a to and fro biphasic membrane which I want to rejuvenate by using a skincare product.
Right.
Also, when I'm using actives, I don't want them to be very high in concentration.
Okay.
So, for example, if you can tolerate a 2% salicylic acid, for somebody with sensitive skin, it will be 0.5%.
Okay. And the only way to determine that is by trial and error, or
by trial and error, or by reading pack sizes, or having a single consult to see. So many of my patients come in just to see. I call that skincare adjustment. They come in with products which they feel will work well on the skin versus me when I tell them, okay, this instead of this, replace this with this. So